Hello and welcome into this week's NASCAR Xfinity Series Rewind show right here on Racing News Now. As always, I'm your host Garth Allen. Thank you once again for joining me today. If this is your first time catching a Racing News Now video, consider going down below to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from R&N. On today's Xfinity Rewind, we are looking back at Saturday's 4th annual Pocono Green 250 recycled by J.P. Mascaro. 103 laps, 257.5 miles, just a skosh into overtime around the Pocono Raceway, 2.5 mile Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. 7 caution flags in this race for a total of 26 laps. First one came very early at lap number 7 as the 19 of Brandon Jones spun and collected the wall in turn 1. That would be the end of his day, out very early in this one. Shortly after the restart, on lap 12, the 42 of Chad Fincham and the 35 of Joey Gase got together in the short chute, bringing out the caution. Lap number 18, the 20 of Christopher Bell spun in turn 1. Very chaotic first stage in this race. Before this race, the record for cautions in this race was 5 cautions in the entire race, and we put out 4 in the first stage, including the stage break. There were 4 all the way up through that stage 1 break. So we're on track for a record number of cautions in this race. Stage number 1 did conclude at lap number 25 with Cole Custer taking the stage 1 victory. 5th caution of the day was for the stage 2 break at lap 50. So nothing really caution-wise happening in stage number 2. Stage 2 was taken by Justin Allgaier, who held off a very hard-charging Tyler Reddick in that second stage. That 2 car was so fast in this race. Justin Allgaier did an incredible job holding him off for the stage win in stage 2. 2 more cautions on the day. First one in stage 3 was at lap 95 as the 18 of Jeffrey Earnhardt got tapped by the 22 of Austin Cindric in turn 2 and went around. Final caution at lap number 99, multi-car incident on the front stretch involving Justin Allgaier, Ray Black Jr., and Austin Cindric down in turn number 1. So 7 caution flags total. We did break the record for most cautions in an Xfinity race at Pocono. 10 lead changes in this race among 6 drivers. Cole Custer led the most laps, 58 of them total. 27 laps were led by Justin Allgaier. 7 laps were led by Christopher Bell. 6 laps went to Austin Cindric. 4 laps led by John Hunter Nemechek. And 1 lap went to Tyler Reddick. Alright, so let's get into your results. Cole Custer won the first stage and led the most laps. Justin Allgaier led the second stage, holding off a very strong Tyler Reddick who had started from the back. Did any of them pick up the victory in this race? Cole Custer picks up his 3rd win of the season. Very impressive showing out of that 00 car. It looked like Tyler Reddick was going to win this race. He led at the white flag and then got loose in turn 3 on the final lap, and Custer gets around him and takes the victory. A very exciting finish out of this Xfinity race with Cole Custer picking up the victory, shutting out Tyler Reddick, who probably had the strongest car in the field, which he seems to have had most of this season. Which I'm not sure if it surprises anybody else, but it kind of surprises me. Yes, he did win the championship last year, although I know a lot of people don't agree with that. Under the rules, he won the championship. So whether you like him winning the championship last year the way he did or not, he still won the championship. That being said, he wasn't super strong for most of last season. Just kind of showed up at Homestead, won the race, and won the championship. This year has been the complete polar opposite. He has been strong every week and probably, had the circumstances lined out, probably could have won every race so far this year in the Xfinity Series. He's been that strong. And it's incredible to me. I did not think Tyler Reddick lining up with RCR was going to make this good of performance, but it's been a pleasant surprise. Chase Briscoe comes home in the 3rd position to put both SHR cars in the top 3. Ryan Preece with a strong run in the 8 car in 4th, and Christopher Bell rounds out the top 5. Rest of your top 10, Noah Gragson, Austin Cindric, Michael Annett, Justin Haley, and Austin Dillon. 11th through 20th, Justin Allgaier landed in the 11th position after pit strategy kind of foiled his good day at the end of the race. John Hunter Nemechek came home in the 12th position. Ross Chastain there in 14th. One of the last cars on the lead lap, actually Josh Williams in 15th, would be the last car on the lead lap. 21st through 30th, Jeffrey Earnhardt, after his incident late, his tangle up with Austin Cindric, he came home 1 lap down in the 22nd position. Ryan Sieg, the first race he's had in a while outside the top 10, unfortunately had some bad luck there in the mid portions of the race. Was strong, qualified up in the 5th position, finished 8th in the first stage. Unfortunately, he would end the day 3 laps down in the 26th position. Final page, 31st through 38th. Brandon Jones out very early in this one, only completed 6 laps, and he came home shotgun on the field in the 38th position. All right, so that's your results from the Pocono Green at 250. Let's head over to the Media Center. We'll see what Cole and his team had to say after this victory.
I guess that was heard wrong. I wish it just wasn't that close. I think it just, I wish it was no cautions, but we had such a big lead. But I just went in there and tried to get on Tyler's bumper. I didn't hit him at all, and he just overdrove the corner and missed the bottom a little bit. But I already had my downshift planned, so I was able to, have a little bit extra torque coming off the corner, and then was just able to clear him. So, but I love winning it that way, but I wish it wasn't that close.
I would love to take the same car back there, but unfortunately we'll have to spend about 2 weeks getting it fixed back up, be able to pass NASCAR Tech. They get beat up pretty bad racing here, so it'll be about a 5-week rotation. We'll probably see this car sometime. This will probably be a Kentucky car. We've got another one just as good at the shop, ready to go for Michigan.
All right, so let's take a look at your playoff grid following the Pocono Green 250, and we'll see where things line out here as we get ever closer to the playoffs now as we get into the summer stretch here. Cole Custer, of course, now joins Christopher Bell in the 3 winners category at the top of the playoff grid. Tyler Reddick not far behind with 2 wins. And then, of course, Michael Annett with his win at Daytona, the only other Xfinity regular to have won a race thus far this season. Little bit of moving this week, not a lot. Actually, the only movement here inside a playoff position, Ryan Sieg lost 2 spots. He's now down to 11th, with Michael Annett and Justin Haley both gaining a spot from him. The only other movement here anywhere on the sheet is Jeremy Clements up a spot to 16th over Garrett Smithley. So Jeremy Clements a skosh closer to getting into the playoffs now as well. The gap at the cutoff line has shrunk just a bit with Brandon Jones finishing last in this race. It is now a 23-point gap between Brandon Jones and Ross Chastain at the cutoff line. And I think that really is going to be your race for the cutoff right now. Again, I think Brandon Jones is going to need some bad luck for Ross Chastain to get in if Ross doesn't win. But I think Brandon Jones is probably the only one really in any kind of a threat to fall out as we get further on through the summer. I mean, he's got a 40-point gap up to Ryan Sieg, and Ryan Sieg lost a bunch of points this week. I don't see Ryan Sieg finishing outside the top 10 too much more before we get to the playoffs with how he's been running thus far this season. So I think really without Ross Chastain or somebody else outside the playoffs winning a race to get in, I think that's your race right now for the cutoff line is Brandon Jones and Ross Chastain, which is incredible to me because Brandon Jones is in a Gibbs car, but Brandon Jones has not performed all that well in his Gibbs equipment either. So there is that. So yeah, again, that's I think the race we're going to be looking at here as we go down the summer is, does Ross Chastain beat out Brandon Jones to get into the playoffs? That will be interesting to watch as we go through the summer. But that's your playoff grid following the Pocono Green 250, and I believe that'll do it for us on this Xfinity Rewind. We had an ARCA and a K&N Rewind go up within the past 24 hours. ARCA for Pocono, K&N for Memphis. Cup Rewind coming up this evening as well to recap their race today from Pocono, which is probably going on about now as this goes up. So look for that later tonight. Diecast review as usual coming up on Wednesday. Then we'll be back at the track on Friday at Michigan with ARCA. So got a lot of stuff to look forward to this week. So if you haven't done it already, you need to go down below, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from RNN. While you're down there, why don't you hit that big thumbs up button if you like the video. It is much appreciated when you do. So with that, this has been the NASCAR Xfinity Series Rewind Show. I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.